Good evening, everyone. It's Tom Sidney Bushnell, aka Numbers, here from Psych Club, from the Tom Numbers Show. News with Tom Numbers and top of your game, which is appropriate for my friend Matt, because President Trump gave us a shout out last week. Said these guys are at the top of their game, and I did that in our last episode. So he confirmed our first episode. We decoded in the second, and so we're giving the shout out to the great man today. So, yeah, I mean, time is whizzing past, Matt. You're here today with us on the show. Oh, I got a little announcement. I've just announced I'm writing a book called In the Beginning Was the Word and Then Came the Numbers. So kind of the biblical word, then numbers, fourth book in the Bible. Anyway, so that's my book. It's on Substack. People want to be founding members and get their name as a credit in the book, they can. So that's a bit of housekeeping. That's it. So that's housekeeping. So I took ages like writing it all last night. I drafted it anyway. So, but yesterday, President Trump was in New Hampshire again yesterday. I've not had a chance to watch it. I think I've seen maybe one or two little clips, but you got a chance to watch it, Matt. So tell us the things you saw and noticed and found that President Trump was saying.
I think it just the rally just spoke to what a rock star he is. I mean, look what he did in Iowa. Just absolutely crushed the competition. New Hampshire is going to be no different. Everybody was ecstatic. You know, he was talking about, he looked very presidential, but of course he does this, stand-up comedy routine because in part, his speeches are a stand-up comedy routine, hysterical. He's the funniest man alive.
Yeah.
And I just found some really interesting stuff. I was just talking with Vlad about it on his podcast earlier today. And I'm going to do an episode on my podcast, the Boomerang Podcast, if you guys want to check it out. The Boomerang Podcast.
Links will be below. Yeah.
The stock market right now is on the move up. And I'm saying to myself, I'm like, never makes sense, these stock market movements.
Yeah.
Right. It's all based on, the whole stock market is based on confidence. Right.
Yeah.
And what Trump pointed out is that the stock market is actually rallying based on his poll numbers being so high. So there's an anticipation. There's an anticipation that he's going to become president. And it's a very interesting dynamic because, you think with all the stuff they're throwing at him with these phony indictments and this, that, and the other thing, you'd think that it would take out anybody, let alone, their poll numbers would be down. His poll numbers are through the roof, and they're probably much higher than what the fake news wants to admit, all these, Smusin and all these clowns. It's interesting because it tells you that if you have money in the market, whether that be through IRA, 401k, brokerage account, what have you, if they go and arrest this guy, or they do something to get him off the ballot, which you can see they're already trying to do, that could wipe out somebody's entire portfolio. Now, do I think they're going to succeed in it long term and getting him off? No, I think he'll be back, right?
Yeah.
But I think that could be the way that Trump gets the blame on them for arresting or indicting him, whatever the case might be.
Yeah.
And that just ruins the confidence, and then people lose their life savings or a lot of their life savings based on that confidence being removed from the stock market and the thing plummeting.
Yes.
So I could see a scenario where we get up, could happen soon, could happen toward the end of the year. I mean, certainly it's going to happen this year, where they just don't let him in. And it could be that we get to the election and it takes 2 months to count the votes. Something to that effect. And then, Biden won or whoever, it's probably going to be Michelle Obama, whoever it is. But I just thought that was a very interesting dynamic, that the stock market's tracking Trump's poll numbers. And I would tell people that if you have money sitting in the market, this is a good time to just get out of the way. I can do that for you, right? We can just move you into a physical asset, let the storm pass over, then boom, you move your gold and silver right back to cash. There's probably gonna be other problems that need to be sorted out at that point. But effectively, you move it back to cash, buy everything up, maybe you had 100 shares of a company, now you get, 700 shares, and you ride the thing back up. So I think in terms of creative strategies with gold, which a lot of people don't talk about, I think that's a good way to play the market, is just getting your money out of harm's way at a time like this, and then reinvesting it once the coast is clear.
That's very good, actually. It's very simple, but profound. That makes a lot of sense. I wasn't aware of the stock market. I don't follow it all the time at all. But I did notice someone mentioned that say Bitcoin was going down, not loads, but it's gone down a bit, and that's the only market I saw this today. But it's interesting. It makes so much sense about the stock market is following President Trump's poll numbers. That makes such a lot of sense. Yeah.
I think I told you, but Juan even, when he came on my podcast and I got a chance to interview a couple months ago, he even said Bitcoin is DARPA. It's created by DARPA.
Yeah.
Defense Advanced Resources Projects, something or another. So I wouldn't touch that stuff with a 10-foot pole either.
Ethereum's not good either.
I don't know.
No, that's.
Juan said that Hillary had won in 2016, Bitcoin would have been $3 million a coin right now.
Really?
And then you get into John McAfee's dead man switch, where if these cryptos hit a level, that's going to start to expose all the politicians and the bankers or something like that. That's what I heard listening to Juan. Kind of an interesting way of putting a dead man switch on something.
Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, I had Dr. Jan Halper-Hayes on yesterday. Well, recorded on Sunday, came out yesterday with Rob Cunningham. Yeah, so it's going video on my channel. It's like, have a watch. You'll enjoy that. So we were talking about a little bit about the markets and about currency, but particularly Rob was talking about cryptos, the X coins, XDC, XRP, XLM. We did talk as well, and they got this right. So there was this rumor flying around in the community about today's date, January 23rd. Might be 24th when people watch it when the show goes out, but people were saying that JP Morgan were announced publicly going bankrupt, and we were trying to verify it. So I asked Rob and I asked Dr. Jan, and they said they tried it. They tried to verify it, and they couldn't get anything. I couldn't get a yes on it, and it looks, we're nearly over on that date now. So they were correct on that, because you hear these things flying around, but you're not sure what to go on, But the interesting thing about, and it's appropriate that we're doing the show today. So January 23rd, or 1, 2, 3. In numbers, A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. 1, 2, 3 comes to silver plus gold, 85 plus 38. Silver plus gold comes to 123. Abraham Lincoln, 123. Eric Trump, 123. So it's appropriate we're talking about that. But that's a brilliant strategy. I might even do that with you. Like, stocks are going up, park it safe, keep it there. And then when it goes down, write it again and let it go back up again. That's brilliant. That's a nice, simple method that people can use.
He's in total control. So if they want to get him out of the way, they got to take everybody's money with it.
Yeah.
People aren't going to be too happy about that.
No.
So that's his play. That's clearly his
play. It's like the double, triple bind. It's like they go here and then it tugs them here. And it's just so clever. It's so clever. It's complex. Complex is 88 Trump. It's what, but it's beautiful.
His Treasury Secretary, which was Steve Mnuchin.
Yeah. Who's a film producer.
That's what he's a film producer, but he's actually by trade a computer programmer.
Is he?
Yes. Steve Mnuchin's a computer programmer. So I have a feeling that he took over the computer programming of the stock market. It's all just dots and teetles on a computer screen.
Yeah.
It's all in the ether, not anything tangible. And that's what people are going to find out. As a matter of fact, I was reading an interesting article today on wallstreetparade.com. And this guy's talking about Gerald Epstein. He's an author of Busting the Bankers Club. And I'll just read you a little excerpt. And he says, the chairman of the Bankers Club is the Federal Reserve, writes Epstein. That's because the Fed has strong-armed its way to becoming both the supervisor of Wall Street megabanks while also being able to create money at the flip of an electronic switch, which it uses to funnel trillions of dollars in cheap loans to bail out the megabanks behind a dark curtain.
Yeah.
So really, the Federal Reserve is the enemy here. And that's who I think is going to be coming into focus here one of these days. Yeah. Because they're the buyer and lender of last resort, right? They can print money anytime they want. They have no accountability, right? They can do whatever the hell they want. So, this guy's saying another, how they've abused the Dodd-Frank Act of 2010 was a little more than a draft left to compromise regulators to hang on. Other key members of the Bankers Club, according to Epstein, are the politicians, particularly on key committees in Congress, who have sold out to the Bankers Club in exchange for funding their political campaigns. It's like, we know this stuff already. The bankers and the politicians are one. So in a sense, thinking about what Trump said, hey, this stuff's tracking me, I think they do have to crash the system because it's all controlled by these freaking clowns.
Yeah.
Right, so what do? You take safe haven.
Yeah.
Get into a safe haven asset at this time. You don't play games. You get out of the way, you let this stuff blow over, and then you reinvest in, year and a half from now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I was thinking of the film yesterday, Ocean's 11, and how they basically take down the system. The house always wins. But they do it in such a beauty of it's complex, but it's funneling one way to them. At the same time, they're thinking it's going the other way. I think President Trump and the White Hats have got something kind of on steroids in regards to the Ocean's 11. I know they have. I'm just excited to see how it plays out, and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But they've got it. They've got it all. Something's coming, and they know how to take it away from the bad ones and give it back. It's Robin Hood. It's what was that? What was that coin back in 2020? It was Robin, wasn't it? It was something Robin Hood.
Oh, the Robin Hood investor app where
they
were shorting GameStop and AMC.
That was it, GameStop and Robin.
Yeah. What happened there was that's a tell
to come.
Yeah, what happened there was, and I don't believe the official narrative, which is a bunch of Reddit users got together.
Yeah.
Right. Those Reddit users were probably Q team.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And what they did was, let's just use the official narrative, right, rather than speculate.
Yeah.
A bunch of Reddit users got together and they took AMC stock and GameStop stock, which the big hedge funds, they had huge short positions on these because, of course, these companies are relics of the past. So people short them, right? They're betting on those prices staying low. Well, these group of Reddit users got together, bought up the stock. The stock exploded. I think it went up to like $70 from like $4. And the hedge funds were losing tens of millions, if not tens of billions of dollars, something crazy.
Yeah.
And they called up Robinhood and these different trading platforms and said, put an end to it now. And they did. Imagine you and me, right? We're losing on our investment. We get to call Robinhood and say, stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
We can do that. And that's how you know it's all a sham. That's when I learned, I already knew, but that's when I knew the whole market was bogus.
It is. It is. So many of the systems are bogus. So that's why it is. It's like, if people don't want to spend that kind of time and energy and focus and just confusion of if you've got other things in your life that you're not focused on that all the time, then go into safe assets, go into gold and silver, keep it there, park it there, and then when the market sorts itself out, you can reinvest, like you say. The brilliant, simple but healthy strategy.
That's where you're going to make your money, is reinvesting. Because I mean, think about it. The whole system needs to get cleaned up on so many fronts. So many fronts.
Yeah.
Right. So this is the opportunity where we can, the stock market shouldn't ride on one man like Trump. It shouldn't be like speculation of him becoming president. His poll numbers are pushing up the market. It shouldn't work like that. That's not the way it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
So this would be, after this crash, whatever it may be, it's an opportunity for us to rethink things and go back to free markets, fair markets, which is what we're really lacking.
Yes. Fairness and everything, a level playing field and everything. You talked about you were describing the sham of it all, and it made me think of the Wizard of Oz and the guy behind the curtain. That was it. You said you read that quote by Epstein, and it was like, behind a dark curtain or a dark veil, and I was like, that's like the Wizard of Oz. And then you realize it's actually not as maybe scary as you think. But it still is pulling the strings, and that's when you confront it. But the Wizard of Oz in numbers is 176, which is level playing field 176. November the 5th, 176. Back to the Future 176. So it's all nicely, connected. It's like, And the other thing about it is Kansas. So you go to it's Kansas, the road to Kansas, but you've got Kansas City that twins with Kansas City is 122, which is America first. It's twinned with the county or the state of Missouri. Missouri's 123, silver plus gold. Added together is 245. The Pure Love of Christ. My full name, Thomas Sidney Bushnell, 245, but it's also currency revaluation, 245. So it's like, why was Kansas picked? You know, the whole thing with Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, and we've got the Greenwich Mean Time line in England, the time zone, and it's on the Greenwich, it's Greenwich, it's on the timeline, you know, and they called it the O2 Center, which is O2, but it's OZ. So there's all these things, you know, it's like they've been telling us for a long time, but it's just connecting the dots, you know.
The O2 Center.
Yeah, the O2 Center. Yeah, which is OZ, Oz. And it's right there on the Greenwich Greenwich Meridian timeline. Greenwich is Greenwich. Hello. There's even a green laser when you take the little ferry along the river at night. It's a green laser. It's a green line, you know. So it's all there.
Here's another good excerpt. And you guys can find this on wallstreetparade.com. I just thought it was a good article. Gives you some of the good insights. I thought this guy did a good, simple job. But the repeal of the Glass-Steagall Act, which is the Banking Act of 1933, allowed Wall Street trading houses to control the trillions of dollars of life savings from mom-and-pop depositors. Deal meant that global trading behemoths like J.P. Morgan were allowed to merge with federally insured banks, backstopped and thus subsidized by the U.S. taxpayer. Today, J.P. Morgan owns more than 5,000 Chase Bank branches spread from coast to coast across America, accepting federally insured deposits from average Americans who have no idea that their money is being used to corrupt foreign officials, rig markets, prop up Ponzi schemes. To be more precise, the repeal of the Glass-Steagall Act is allowing Wall Street casinos to corrupt everything that Americans hold dear while using Americans' own life savings to do it. So they're using our money to bury us.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that kind of Trump's signature move? He wants to use their move to bury them.
Yes.
He's playing by the same rules, which I find encouraging.
Yeah. Well, you have to. It's like, I mean, one of the things he did, who was it? I can't remember if it was China. It was one of the entities or countries that America was paying money to, and he just went, stop payment. Because effectively they were kidnappers. And he's like, stop payment. And so in many areas of life, people that are kidnappers, either metaphorically or literally, they expect you to pay for the privilege of kidnapping. President Trump showed us, no, you cut this all off. If you're not playing by the rules, or if you're acting illegally and you're wanting to take the house and everything on top, or the cherries on top, and you expect to be paid for it, up yours. And that's what he showed us. He's like, no, stop payment, or never pay in the first place, you know?
Yeah. Our politicians have sold us out, and they need to go, man. They need to go. And until that happens, people's money's not safe, you know? Yeah. You can't go to a hospital nowadays and get true, what's the Hippocratic oath that they give? These doctors, we saw during COVID, these people were just paid to give out these vaccines. That was it. It was just money. Everything was just by the financial incentive, the legal system. Everything's broken, man. Everything.
It is. It is. Everything is broken. Everything is an inversion. Everything is not what it says on the tin. 99.99% of things globally are not what they say on the tin. It's weird. It's alarming when you realize that. But then there's also, okay, I've got a few percentage points that I can rely on, and then you build on. And things are getting turned over bit by bit by bit. It's like that game of Othello, dark to light. It's like they're getting turned over. But it is startling at first when you realize nothing is what it says on the tin, or it hasn't been up until this point.
I mean, we know Trump's first 4 years was about getting rid of the bankrupt U.S. corporation.
Yeah.
Offloading that. I think we talked about it in our last episode. You're just going to hand over the bankrupt corporation and say, here you go. Here you go, guys. Here's your corporation back. Then we start over. Then we start over, which is exciting too, right? I think there's a lot of, I'm excited for it. I think learn the information, probably like a lot of your viewers, where I think we're ready for what's coming emotionally. We don't know what it's going to really look like necessarily, but I'm excited.
Yeah, bring it on.
Get on.
We're definitely ready for it because what's gone on before. It's like I've said before on shows. Would I go with the knowledge I've got now? Would I go back in time? And I guess there'd be a couple of caveats, but really overwhelmingly, I'd rather just move forward with where we're at, go into the better future. And I believe in, well, quantum 107, military 107, atonement 107. I believe in those things and believe they'll rectify the wrongs of the past as opposed to us having to go back and change them. But yeah, now that we're at this juncture and we can sense it, we can see it, it's like, we're not exactly sure how it's going to look, but we're ready and let's run towards it, you know?
Yeah. And that's what's nice about our community is that, when you sit with the Patriot community, you're in the right company. It's like I feel like our community is very tight knit. We have an understanding. We don't agree on everything, and that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah. It's a powerful community. It's something that can't be stopped now. It's I liken it. I mean, there might be other analogies for this, but in Daniel, I think it's Daniel 2 in the Bible, talks about this stone being cut out of the mountain without hands. Kind of God's created this, and it rolls and keeps going. And it doesn't gather moss; it just gets bigger. And I think there's a lot of parallels with that, in terms of the movement and people that believe in fairness and truth and God or creation. However people want to label it, but in goodness, fairness and positivity. And I think it can't be stopped now, which is nice. Which is nice to know. And you can almost take a break from it as well if you have to. I mean, I've been going at this for the best part of nearly 4 years now, and it's great. It's a privilege. But you can also kind of just, all right, I just need to ease off for a day or two, and then you come back on again.
It can be a little overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, it can be, and I know it is for people. I think with me, I just would like to multiply myself by 4 or maybe 5, and then I could get more and more done. It's like I could, but it's ever since I started it, and President Trump put the flight ban on, I just knew this is all going to be okay. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I didn't know it'd be this. I didn't even know about the numbers at that point. I didn't know it'd be Tom numbers, but I was like, this is all going to be okay. I trust in it, and I'm just going to try and figure out what I can and move forward. And I think that's so many people in the community can relate to that, whether they're either publicly speaking up or just amongst their family, their community. There's so many people behind the scenes that have been doing stuff as well. People might not know their names per se, but people that watch our shows, and it's like they act on faith, they move forward, and they're good people, and they're being rewarded, they're being blessed, and there's many blessings going into the future for sure.
No doubt about it.
Yeah. Future in numbers is 91. Spirit is 91. POTUS is 91. Liberty is 91. And Space Force is 91. So that's the direction we're going, That's where we're going.
All the numbers.
Yeah. What's that?
All the numbers.
Follow the numbers, exactly. Follow the numbers. That's that's what I do, and it's got me to this juncture. So I get to hang out with people like you, Matt. So I can't be doing too bad,
I feel the same way. Feel the same way, yeah. And just to your audience, they've been actually we've gotten a couple calls so far, so that's been cool. People from the community. It's like I'm one of them.
Yeah.
One of them. I'm just I happen to be a gold and silver dealer.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where I'm taking people's fake money and turning it into real money. That's all it is, just cash conversion.
That's it, actually, isn't it? That's it. It's like if you have digits on a screen, which most people thankfully will do, why not convert some, or if not all of it, into actual physical God's money, gold and silver? That's what it is, and that can help you do it.
I read articles like this, and this is Wall Street on Parade, good website. They do some good work, but it's just amazing, when they start talking about when they give coverage on, the lawyers involved in the 2008 crash, about how they got the banks to deregulate after that, how they pulled back the regulations and made things even worse, right? It's all a scam. All these guys were just money hungry, greedy bastards at the end of the day. Yeah. And they sacrificed their country in order to make a quick buck. And people can't think like that, man. It's not all about money.
Yeah.
People have to have, some dignity and respect for one another. And I mean,
Yes.
these are the worst of the worst people. These are the
Yeah.
worst of the worst. These people should be in prison.
Yeah.
Took down a country.
Yeah. Scum and villainy. And they don't view it as their country, well, as our or people's country. They're they're insane maniacs, really, when you boil it down. The ones right at the top, and even the ones kind of doing Jacob's ladder up and down within that vicinity. If their heart's bad, then they're out. They've not got long left. They've got not long left. If your heart is not of a certain caliber, i.e., at least decent to people, you're not going to survive in the future. You're just
Yeah,
not. You won't be able. You'll be vibrated out. You'll be gone.
agreed.
That's kind of reassuring, actually.
But if you can hold on to your money, you can still do it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be exposed in these criminal banks. I mean, Jamie Dimon came out at the World Economic Forum. Did you see that? Jamie Dimon's the CEO of
Yeah.
JP.
Yeah. Jan mentioned that. Yeah.
Yeah, he had flipped on the globalists, it looked like. I mean, it's always encouraging to see, people flip on somebody like Klaus Schwab, but I mean, Jamie Dimon was Epstein's personal banker.
Yeah.
He's Jeffrey Epstein's personal banker. So I
And
mean,
wasn't he? Did he say something positive about Trump or alluding to something positive about Trump?
I think he said something positive about Trump,
Yeah.
which is whatever. I still think the guy's a scumbag, but hey, if you want to help our movement and if it
Yeah.
saves you a couple of years in jail time, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
10.
Yeah. You said the word positive. Positive in numbers is 115. And 115 can be a date, 11/5, November 5th. So that's a positive timeline, to look towards. And we don't have much time left, really. We don't have that long left. We've got less than a year now.
In the corner, man. Something's coming.
Something is coming. Something big is coming.
We'll know tonight on Trump in New Hampshire. We're sitting here on Tuesday, the 23rd, so we'll know tonight what happens. I think it's going to be a blowout for Trump.
Yeah. Where's the next stop after New Hampshire for him?
Well, I know it follows nothing can stop what is coming. So
it does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not sure the cities. I've been in New Hampshire a handful of times. It's actually a really, like, if anybody wants a really cool place to visit, New Hampshire is actually a beautiful state.
Yeah. Yeah, I was there end of 2020. Mrs. Handy, are you, Kathy and Bob? She tried to go actually to the event yesterday or a few days ago. And it was so busy, I don't think she could get in, but she took a video and it was all snowy and, at this town hall, wherever the event was.
Beautiful up there. Yeah, Trump will be here in Phoenix at Dream City Church, which is Charlie Kirk's church over here. He'll be here, I think, on Friday.
Is he?
Yeah, I would go, but I'm just so busy here in the storefront. It's tough to get out. I mean, maybe I will. Maybe I'll go buy some nosebleed seats or something. I think the front row seats are like $3,000 a piece. I'm like, no thanks.
Yeah. So Charlie Kirk's from Arizona, is he?
I don't know where he's from. I know he lives here. I've
Yeah.
met Charlie Kirk. We do some event sponsorships locally here and in
Okay.
California. And I met Charlie a bunch of times. He's actually a very nice guy.
Yeah.
Very tall. He's like towers over me, and I'm like almost 6'1". So he's got to be like 6'6",
Is
6'5".
he?
Yeah, he's a big
Wow.
boy. And
Huh.
very nice guy. Very genuine, meeting and greeting people. He didn't know me. I think he
Yeah.
kind of knows me now because he sees me from time to time. He like recognizes me, but I don't care.
Yeah. He was due to be over at Oxford Union, I think, at end of mid-December last year. I don't know if he actually came to it in the end. I heard he was coming to England and then didn't really see much else about it. So I don't know if he did actually come.
He's doing a good job. He basically is putting conservatism back into the schools. He's focusing on the schools and
Yeah.
getting conservative movement, in the kids, because I was talking about somebody the other day is like, kids under, 5, 10 years old. I mean, those are the future
Yeah.
countries, right? You're in the UK. Those are the kids that we can teach the right way and have them set a whole new trajectory. Because a lot of
Yeah.
people, generation, they're freaking lost, man. They're lost.
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah. It's going to need a divine intervention, a God moment to clear up a lot of what's gone on for sure.
You did. Yeah.
And that's coming. I don't know how that's coming, but it is coming.
Juan talks about it all the time on the different podcasts. So
yeah.
Buckle up, man. Buckle up.
Yeah. Buckle up, buttercup. It's coming. It is a quantum moment, an atonement moment, a 107, which is what it is in numbers. Moment is coming. Which will be good, which will be great, because so many things need to be rectified. You can physically change things and procedure and all the rest of it, but then you've got people's psyche and consciousness and spirits and souls that have been bashed around by this nonsense that's down here,
Yeah.
That has to be changed.
I interviewed David K. Clements on Thursday of last
Yeah,
week.
you said, yeah.
It's a good one. Did I mention it? I might have mentioned it on the last
Yeah.
episode. That's up now. That's actually officially up. We put that up yesterday.
Okay, go and check it. Yeah, I have to look.
People, like I probably said in the last episode, but definitely check out his movie, Let My People Go .movie.
Yeah.
And if you use the code SV, like Samuel Victor, SV Neverland, you'll get 50% off. And that's a great movie. Everybody should watch it. Anybody, your audience needs to support that movie. It's like
There's
10
someone
bucks.
I noticed that always comments, usually called it SV Neverland, in the chats on my YouTube. I don't know if that's them.
It's Bill. Yeah.
Is that him?
Yeah. That's not David K. Clements. That's my buddy Bill.
Ah, okay.
Bill got me in touch with Clements, with Professor Clements.
Okay.
Like
well, hey, Bill, thanks for all your support, because I see you regularly in the chat. So, yeah.
Yeah, Bill's the man. Bill, he's actually in town right now. We did some dinner over the weekend, and he's been instrumental in getting me some different people to come on.
Yeah.
He's going to put me in touch with a few other guests. I don't want to say who they are yet because I want to solidify it, but he's like totally unsuspecting guy, but he's like very well connected in the Patriot community.
Brilliant.
And yeah, he does a great job, and he's a brother.
What's his last name?
Jackson, Bill Jackson.
Bill Jackson. Well, I look forward to seeing you in the comments, Bill. Say hello, because I always recognize that one, SV Neverland, and he's so positive. Yeah. He's on there, he's brilliant. It's like
beautiful family. Yeah, he's got a beautiful family. They actually just stayed with me for a week out here at my house in Phoenix.
Okay.
Drove cross country, doing some different stops on the way, seeing Pastor Bob and Dr. Hovind, Dr. Kent Hovind, another great guy. I interviewed him. He got me an interview with Dr. Hovind. So yeah, we're looking forward to, some more guests, and we're just having fun with it, man. It's like, I'm a gold broker. I do the Boomerang podcast kind of for fun. Yeah. Put myself out there, let people get to know me. Yeah. Because when people do gold and silver purchases, it's like, you want to know who you're dealing with. You want to, right?
Cool. It's trust. It's about trust, isn't it?
It's trust. So I really try to, get out there, talk amongst my own people, which is, I've been before I ever even thought of podcasts, I was watching you. I was watching all kinds of people. And now it's like rubbing shoulders with them. And it's great because it's like, it's a big family.
Well, it's great to have you on board, buddy. I'm glad we're together, and I'm glad you're able to get to know everyone on the show. So it's great having you on. So what's the best thing so you've got your number, which is there, it's on the screen. So people can give you a call.
Yeah, the 480-725-0536. You can call me directly. That's what some of your viewers have done already. They just called me directly. That's the best way, because if you call me and I'm not at my desk or I'm doing something, your voicemail goes to my email. So if I'm out, having lunch around the corner at the deli or something, I'll get the email transcription. I can listen to the voicemail, and I give you a call right back.
That's good. That's good. So yeah, just give Matt a call. Yep. Get straight through to him, or he'll call you straight back. So yeah. And what I think we'll do in time as well is when we get some of the viewers that actually, do things with gold and silver, some of their portfolio, their 401k. Once they've gone through the process with you, if you don't have to, but I know some of the viewers might enjoy it, we'll get some of you on and come on the show and tell your experience, So that'll be fun.
It's super easy stuff, man. I'm not solving world hunger. I'm, just doing gold and silver. It's pretty straightforward. But, there are, purchasing mistakes. It's like buying anything else. It's like you buy the wrong thing and you look in the future like, oh, I should have got that. Yeah. You can do the same thing with this. So I put people on the right track. That's what I do.
Good. That's good, buddy. Well, your number's up there on the screen. It's also in the description below and the website, and give him a call. So and then you can come on the show a few weeks down the line. We'll get you on. So yeah.
All right,
All
Tom.
right. Well, thanks a lot, Matt. Thanks for the updates. I'll see you again probably a little later in the week.
Yep.
And who knows what we'll be in by then. Things are always changing daily. So yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
All right, brother.
Thanks, Matt. See you soon, buddy.
See ya.
Take care, man. Cheers, man. Bye.